I'm gonna be honest, man, and even since we've started this show, I think when I went to, I think it was the Jay Z and Friends concert in Atlanta. That might have been like back in 2002. It was like between Blueprint 2 and the Black Album. And Jay Z went up there, had a whole bunch of guests too, by the way. But he went up there for like 2.5 hours, killed the
Hmm.
show. And
Hmm.
you could just see his level with the other performers' level and all that. And ever since that day, I said Jay Z was the greatest ever. And he kept going.
Hmm.
He kept going. But I'm going to tell you right now, based on King's Disease 2, Magic, and we sit here looking at the catalogs and we look at what certain people were in the 90s, 2000s, collectively, got distant relatives. Nas is better than Jay Z. It's what it is. And and I'm saying this as a person who has said Jay Z was the greatest for like probably 15 years straight now, or probably longer than that. I'm just going to be honest. At this moment and at this juncture, until proven otherwise, that number one spot goes to Nasir Jones. It's what it is.
Yeah, because Mike, he really like with these last three projects, he covered it on both sides. So do you remember what Star told us last year about Nas in relationship to how he didn't have Nas up there the way we did because of Rakim?
Uh huh.
Well, Mike, the guy that made KD1, KD2, and Magic sounds nothing like Rakim.
No, that's
You
real.
feel me? So you get what I'm saying. He got it on both sides now. Like the guys that they're saying Rakim, it's like nah, Rakim don't got it like this on this end. It's not sounding like this late. And for the J guys, it's like you can go to the catalog. But Mike, he said something that I've been saying, which is like Jay's best stuff is his B sides. If your best stuff is your B sides, you about to lose to Nas. Nas is the king of the great B sides. His B
Oh yeah.
sides is the stuff of legend and lost tapes, Mike.
Even listen, even when I was saying Jay was the greatest, I would concede to that even then. But
You don't want to play
now,
them B sides. The B
yeah.
sides are not going to sound as great when you play them up against the guy who makes the greatest B sides. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Now listen, if Nas would have hung it up or did similar things that Jay has done since like over the past 10 years and not been active like that, do a song here and there, yeah, maybe Jay would still be ahead. But the fact that all we got is 444, Holy Grail, and everything is love in the past 10 years, and for this guy, we got distant relatives. I left out Watch the Throne. But again, you know how I feel about Watch the Throne because you're sitting here with one of the greats on that one too, and he's leading the show. But yeah, but when you go that against distant relatives, Nasir, Lost Tapes 2, KD, KD2, and now Magic, I would be a fool and a liar to sit here and say that Jay Z is still leading that race because he's not.
You left out Life is Good, Mike. You
I
left
left
out
out
Life
Life
is
is Good.
Good.
I forgot all about Life is Good.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying, Mike.
it's just
People were
so
talking
much
about
quality
Mike.
material, man.
Mike, people were talking about Life is Good as a potential top five Nas album when it came out. It's like on the back. It might be like 9 or 10 right now.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, but
it's insane.
no, it is insane. I mean, it's been a great run for him because he's had like three different careers within this, and it's just like we just need to like cover it properly and give it its due. Mike, I told you, Mike, when I heard Death Row East, it was like this is over. I was like, he don't got nothing for this because yeah, because Mike, when Nas is doing what Nas is doing and can make you bop your head and want to dance, oh, it's over. It's
Well, you
over.
know what? Let's get back to
Hit
the
Boy got him
subject.
making records like that. Like Mike, the truth is something you can ride and bob your head to, but it's still Nas doing Nas stuff. That's what I mean. Hit Boy got Nas in a place where he ain't even really been consistently, where it's like you find yourself listening to him and being great, but you're riding to his shit too.
They weren't supposed to make this album, and KD2 wasn't supposed to be as good as it was because the fact that not only are people trying to find a way, the ones that choose to talk about it, trying to find a way to make you feel like you didn't just hear what you heard
Yeah.
something else. That's
No,
one
you hear what
thing,
you heard.
but the other thing is the fact that people are neglecting to even review this album. None of the major publications have reviewed this album. And the only reviews I've seen for this album, and they were favorable, were like from Clash magazine, some publications that aren't that big. But the ones that
Mhm.
usually jump on these reviews the day of the release or 2 days after the release, We see nothing from. And I think that's very disappointing too from Hip Hop
So Mike,
DX and the fact
so
that
do you
we
want
haven't gotten a review from Hip Hop DX, but we get an article about its first week sales. You've had this for a week and a half now.
do you know what that is? Because speaking about because KD2 didn't get as much like run as it shouldn't have gotten, positive review like it shouldn't have gotten. But
Right.
Mike, what you really do if you review KD2 and Magic the way they're supposed to be reviewed, well, in the process of that, you have to see that this guy is the greatest MC of all time,
Exactly.
and that's why they're not covering it because they
Exactly.
don't want to see the fact that this is the greatest MC of all time.
Yeah.
So they're trying to act like it's not
This
happening,
isn't
and they look
happening.
like
You didn't hear
I ain't
what
gonna
you just heard.
right. That's what they're trying to do, or they're
Yeah.
trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's not as Illmatic. Well, neither was it was written. The Lost Tapes, Godson,
Oh,
KD,
well, it didn't
KD2, like
sell
none of
any.
those are Illmatic.
They're
You
like,
want to know what
oh,
else isn't Illmatic, Mike? Reasonable Doubt's not Illmatic.
they're
Ready to
like,
Die's not
oh,
Illmatic.
right, right. And then on
America's
top
Most
of
Wanted
that,
is not Illmatic.
and then on top of that, Coop, they're like, oh, it didn't sell any records. Nobody
No
heard
shit.
this. So it's so what happens if you go out there and you have to give KD2 the praise it deserves, and then you have to go out there and be unbiased about Magic. So what happens to this other guy that y'all say is untouchable?
Mike, Death Row East is a knockout blow. I told you this conversation been over since Death Row East. That's track 2 on KD2. This conversation been over since then. It's like,
TD
oh, this is
says
a wrap.
KD2 had great reviews. Did it? Because Pitchfork Media
Mm,
gave Pepper Pig more stars than that album, and we had
when you
to
say
call
great
them out
reviews,
for it.
when you say great reviews, anybody that rated it less than an 8.5 didn't rate it objectively or right. So no, it didn't get great
Well, you
reviews
know
from
what?
that regard.
I'm in front of my computer. We can find that out right now. I can go to Metacritic and find out what everybody rated this album.
Yeah, go ahead and
It,
hit it up.
well,
Didn't
Pitch,
Aquemini get the highest hip hop rating ever
yeah,
on
it did.
Metacritic? And To Pimp a
Yeah.
Butterfly shortly after that.
So King's Disease 2, with a cumulative score, it was favorable. It was
Okay.
86 out of 100.
Okay. No. Okay. So that's over 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Clash gave Clash gave that one 7 out of 10, where they gave Magic 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Let's see, King's Disease, the first one, its Metacritic a cumulative score was 72 out of 100.
That's a little low. I would give it more 80-ish if I
And
was just weighing all things. Maybe
Pitchfork gave
85.
that higher than they gave KD2. But
Oh, they don't
Pitchfork
know what
had
they're
some
doing. We already
bad
know
things.
that.
Was it? No, it was Rolling Stone that had some bad things to say about King's Disease 1. They said it
They're the
was
worst.
the
They're the worst. They're the worst.
you know
They're
what?
the
They
worst ever in this
actually
rap shit. They're the worst.
they ranked Playboy Cardi's album Whole Lotta Red #1 album of 2021. And I'm
Well,
gonna be
Mike,
perfectly honest. And I know we listen to music from all eras. That Playboy Cardi album is trash. I don't care what anyone says, man. I can't. It sounds like noise. You're gonna sit here and give that the #1 hip hop album of 2021.
they don't know what they're doing. I mean, I don't
They gave
even.
Lil Nas X like #6 too. So take
They don't know
that
what
for
they're doing.
whatever you want to take it for.
They whack. So,
Yeah, no, but
yeah.
yeah, nobody's rating Magic. I'm sitting here looking for the cumulative scores for Magic. They just say, you know what, we're not even gonna rate this one, but we
Mike,
are
they
gonna tell
walking
you
with
what the first week sales are.
Mike. They walking with their head down, scared to look. They
Yeah,
shook.
it's amazing, man. It really is, and I'm glad that
Hmm.
we're here to talk to the people, and I'm glad the people are actually able to talk to us, so we know that we're not tripping. And I know
So,
Rosenberg and Cypher Sound saw that too when they were doing their show and trying to come up with critiques out of nowhere. People were telling them like, "No, this is flames, man. This is
so Mike,
fire."
people think we're like flagshipping for Nas, and it's like we're kind of like stressing the point that it's like, nah, we're doing what we're supposed to do. These other people aren't doing what they're supposed to do. It makes it look like we're riding harder than we actually are. We're actually doing our jobs and giving it the due that it deserves. Because Mike, last year, all we
Conway
talked about was Griselda
and
because
West
they
Side,
ran
yeah.
it.
Yep.
This year, all we talked about is Nas because Nas ran it. We give the due where it goes. What you're finding, if you listen to us and then go listen to everybody else, is that there's a lot of politics and bullshit going on
I feel
that's
like
preventing
too.
people from doing their job. And some people just outright ain't doing their job, like not listening to the album over the holidays.
You
Okay.
know what? I feel like also to piggyback off of that, even when we talk about somebody like Sky Zoo's album, like you know what I'm saying, it's not a lot of people talking about those efforts. We gave that album the the praise that it deserves because it's a wonderful piece of work. Same
I think
thing
it's
with
still making,
Isaiah
I mean, it's in
Rashad.
both of our top fives for album of the year still, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
because it deserves to be. So we're going to treat it like
it's an
such. You know
incredible
what I
album,
mean?
and so it's it's
I mean,
interesting,
shoot.
man. And I didn't really understand that the media was so much against Nas until we really started covering it. And then you look at this
I
magic
told
thing,
you.
and no one is saying anything. I'm still looking for reviews from this. Like,
I told you, Mike. I told you this been going on since that 1996 vibe. It was written review.
and
Since
the most
going on
disgusting part about it is they find a way to use Nas's incredible debut album against him in any given facet. What they did on Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds podcast was textbook. That was textbook. We're gonna bring up Illmatic, so maybe somehow we can discredit this new project. That's
see,
fucked up, man.
but that's what I'm saying is that like, well, no, that's not the guy that wrote Illmatic. First of all, the guy that wrote Illmatic, that album came out when he was 19. He wrote that album between the ages of probably 15 to 18, Mike. That kid don't exist anymore. But
No,
Mike, on Magic, I keep trying to say, oh, the MC who made Take It in Blood, Nas is like, oh no, he exists on this album in 2021. I don't care about Illmatic.
who's done
That's a
that
feat
though?
within itself. That's a feat within itself. The guy that made Take It in Blood and Nas is like sounds like it 20 more plus years later. Give me that.
I
That's
tell
the
you
greatest
what,
MC
man.
of
I
all
don't.
time.
I don't care about song structure. If I can hear the Ghostface intensity that I hear on Supreme Clientele 1, on Supreme Clientele 2, I don't care what the beats sound like. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Oh, Mike, the beats aren't
don't.
bad. The beats on here are dope.
I
And like
know, but
even
I'm
with
just
some of
saying
the
that's where they always try to go because that's the narrative. Like, and
right.
that's furthering that narrative too, talking about song structure when you know that the narrative out there is Nas is the worst beat picker, blah blah blah,
I don't
which is clearly untrue as well.
I don't think people understand that this project probably got put together because they're in a zone and they just started doing takes and was like, oh no, we need to be keeping this. This shit crazy he's
These are
spitting.
extras.
These are extras.
This is like I'm putting out lost tapes as they're being made.
Yes, this is current lost tapes. This is like, no, 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 you're not going to lose these. You're not going to lose Ugly the way you lost Do Rags. You get what I'm saying? You're not going to lose The Truth the way you lost No Ideas Original, where he's spazzing. Like, he's
Jevin
not.
June says, "I'm convinced that according to hip hop is the only media that matters. These people are all bought and paid for." Hey, man. I
I'm not
mean,
gonna say it like that because that's just disrespectful. But all I'm saying is that we're just doing our job. We're listening to the albums multiple times. We're giving out appropriate reviews where they are deserved.
it's not.
Like,
No. I don't think it's disrespectful to say people are bought and paid for. They are.
oh no, no, no. I meant the part about like how we're the only ones that matter. No, no, no. These motherfuckers bought and paid for.
Yeah, they're bought and paid for. And so again, I don't get a check from Jay-Z, and as not saying I wouldn't take a check from Jay-Z if it
Mike,
made
Mike,
sense,
we're
but I'm just being honest,
Mike,
man.
Mike. You can go ahead and put that on the list of things that's never happening for me or for you. I definitely is the Rock Nation brunch happening? Like, isn't it about the time?
I would
No, you're not
listen.
getting
Look,
no
all
invite. I've been
jokes
practicing
aside,
my pose. I got a new watch. Nope.
all jokes aside, I would love to attend the Rock Nation brunch. That's not gonna change my whole viewpoint on hip hop. You know what I mean? I still hold Jay high, but I'm not gonna sit here and hold him high to a level like no one is even near him because that's not factual. Because we've lined up the catalogs, and and I think that also I think Versus is a great platform that if that is the case, you can test that theory out. I mean,
You don't
test it
understand.
out. If
Okay,
if
so
if he's so above everybody, do the verses. We
No,
all
no,
know
no.
who it should be against, and it's not Lil Wayne. I
Hey,
personally
Mike.
don't think he would beat Kanye West, to be perfectly honest with
Hey, Mike. You gotta be careful about what you say. So, like, how Rosenberg and them was bringing in the intro to Volume 3.
you. Mm-hmm.
You know what he said on the outro, right? Pull your CDs out. Let's go song for song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the illest nigga doing it till you prove me wrong.
There
Pull
we
them out.
go. Pull him
Pull
out.
them out. Pull them out.
Listen, I I think the only way Nas would lose is if Nas would match up his big pimping with like you owe me, but he wouldn't do that.
Mike, the only thing that he has to do as far as post Illmatic tracks, the only singles that are post Illmatic tracks that he needs to play are Made You Look and Nas Is Like. He don't even gotta play any of his singles. If he plays Made You Look and Nas Is Like his singles, some stuff from Illmatic and his B-sides, that's it, Mike.
You
That's
know,
it.
I'm really heavy on DOA,
That's it.
right? I like Death or Auto Tune
That's
a
it.
whole lot. But
Oh no, he
if
doesn't
I
stand a
be
chance.
no, but
Doesn't stand a
no,
chance,
I'm
Mike.
being honest though. I think if Thief's theme went up against Death or Auto Tune,
That's what I'm saying,
I think
Mike.
Thief's theme is better than that song.
I
And
forgot
I
about
like
Thief's theme, Mike.
DOA a
He can do
lot.
Thief's theme too. How about this? He could do Thief's theme too, but even with that being said, Mike, I don't even think that's one of his 20 best records. That's
I
what I
don't think
mean.
so either. I
He
just
got
remember when
stuff.
I first heard Thief's theme and saw the video and he had the mask and shit. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Like that feel that you get seeing the shadow boxing video or something like that. That's the feel you get when you get those hardcore Nas records.
Yeah, no, it is,
And
man. Do you remember
it's incredible rhyming on top of that. Like,
you remember that unreleased track he put out, where y'all at? Where he took the Major Look sign, where y'all gangsters at? Where
yeah,
y'all
yeah, I
dimes
remember
at?
that.
Yeah, Mike, he got stuff like that. It's like it's epic and it's like never even going anywhere.
I don't even really like that song like that, man. Miss Mo is bringing up, well, no, not, Dak, I missed your comment, Miss Mo. But Tri Barrel said Silent Murder. And again, man,
That's Mike's favorite Nas record.
yeah, Silent Murder's my favorite. And
That's what I mean,
he
Mike. What
wouldn't
is
even
he?
play that, though.
That's what no, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Nas can play "Take It in Blood," "Silent Murder." Like he can play stuff like that and win because like really don't nobody got nothing like that lyrically outside of that Prime Rock M stuff and that Prime Rock M stuff